All right. Testing, testing. Hoping all is well. Just kind of just getting set up here. Figured I come on and just share my thoughts on a couple of things, some concerns, just some things that's been going on, and can't hurt, right? Everybody else is doing it. So I'm just kind of just setting up, letting people, whoever decides to show up, letting people kind of file in. Because sometimes, going live, you end up pretty much repeating yourself, especially early on, because you'll have like one or two people, and then you have like four or five, and then they're like, well, I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. So I figured, you know what, let me just try to wait a little bit. But suffice to say, I want to talk about the gaming industry, just some things I have been noticing the last couple of days as it pertains largely to, the usual, the woke agenda, the ideology, and it being pushed in several of our games. I think most notably coming up now is the Ghosts of Yotai game, and to me, it's all really connected from a ideology standpoint as it pertains to, say, the radical left, because that seems to be me seeing things like this is where I see those ideas coming from. But I've been getting some criticism from a few people, and I even had a few situations where you know it's just really, it's kind of tough to really, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm a person that I like things to make sense, and so I try to approach things like that. And when you're out here doing this content creation thing, it's not always the easiest thing. Like it's very easy for somebody to be at home and or wherever and just kind of, I don't know, dissect everything that you say from the safety of their own computer. Sometimes you'll say things that that you're speaking concise English, and then the listener is hearing their own thing. Like they're just taking what you're saying and just twisting it into what they think you're saying. And a lot of times, I think that happens more in more cases than not. And so I've been seeing a few people in my comment section that would argue or have argued that Charlie Kirk, the man that was tragically assassinated not that long ago, was a racist. And what's up, bro? What's up, Reen? And so I'm not a fan of people claiming someone else is a quote unquote racist, especially when the guy was fucking assassinated right in front of our eyes, in front of the country to see. And then those same people that will say, oh, he was a racist. And I'm like, to those individuals, the very few in my comment section, and to the other people I'm not even a blip on their radar on social media that I've seen. And I'm like, look, if you want to say that Charlie Kirk was a racist, then okay, let me see some evidence. Link me to an article, link me to a podcast, link me to anything. And so far, not to say it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that, but If you're gonna, that's like if you're gonna accuse me of stealing something, where's your proof? Because if it's just your word, then I'm sorry, that argument just falls to me. I can't take it seriously. I just can't. It is disgusting behavior, but at the same time, it's what I've come to expect. It's very easy, and like I said, it's very easy for anybody to say you are a particular something, you did a particular something, and this is what is like. It's very easy for people to say that, but where's the proof? Where's the proof? See, I'm not saying the proof don't exist. I'm saying let me see it. Because the thing I have been seeing about Charlie Kirk on that particular level, I've been seeing the exact opposite. So you have people that are arguing that Charlie Kirk is not a racist, and they're showing receipts, clips, videos, articles, podcasts, everything. And then the other side is saying that he was a racist, but they're not showing anything. So for me, what am I to do as a content creator? What am I to do? What am I to say? Honestly, what am I to say? I don't know. I don't know. Did I hear about D4Y? Who? I don't even know who that is. I don't know if that's a channel or a guy who's a PDF and murdered a 15-year-old girl. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. But D4VD, I'm not too sure who that is. I'm not even sure what that is. But yeah. I just think that all of it is absolutely ridiculous, and I question a lot of things. Some people would say I'm a conspiracy theorist, and that's fine. I will wear that label on my chest. I'm proud of that. But if you are committing heinous crimes, whether it's, in my view, pedophilia and that crazy shit, and trying to indoctrinate children and all everything that a sensible person would look at and condemn, if those people are not being held accountable and they're not being brought to justice and all that, then there's clearly something wrong with the justice system. Clearly. And I guess that's the reason why I align myself a little bit more on the Republican side, because, like I said, I will be the first to admit to everybody, I am not the foremost political person. I am not fucking a government official. I am not Candace Owens. I am not all these other people that they make their living speaking about politics. I am not that guy. I am a gamer, a lifelong gamer, and a personal trainer who is 45 years old, and I have seen over the course of time the things that I prefer, the things that I love, which is gaming and watching shows, watching movies, which I think is something that a lot of us can relate to. I'm seeing a lot of it becoming infected with a lot of mental illness fuckery. And, so as I said in the last video that I made, which was centered around Charlie Kirk, which I woke up this morning to see I lost 10 subscribers off of it, which actually pushes the amount of total subscribers I have lost throughout all of the coverage I've done on Charlie Kirk from the very beginning. I have lost close to 20 subscribers. So I guess this is what I should come to expect, right? And then I don't know what to even say about that. I was kind of surprised. But then again, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, right? I've learned from other content creators that I know personally that would say that the minute you start talking about politics or religion, or even if you have a specific view on a specific game, you're going to have people that's going to just, oh, I'm just going to unsubscribe. Oh, you're this, you're that. So I guess it's my turn, I guess, you know, I think people ultimately, I think I like the notion, or maybe not the notion. That's another thing. I'm going to try to pick my words. So you're going to hear me fumble my words here and there. I'm going to say ums and ahs because I'm not, I'm free. I'm trying to give measured, concise English here. And if this was me talking about Tekken, this would be no problem. If this was me talking about the games industry, it's no problem. But talking about politics, I know that this is not really my arena, but at the same time, I'm angry to know that we are all alive and a 31-year-old man is not, because he had a difference of opinion. That's really what it fucking comes down to as far as I'm concerned. And we can argue the X's and O's. We can say, oh, those that say that he was racist, those that says that he was sowing division and all this other stuff, which many of those people don't really furnish any fucking proof that I have seen. We can argue that, but what you can't argue is which side of the political landscape are taking actual joy in the man's death. Because I can tell you this much, it is not people on the right. It is not conservatives. It is not Republicans. So it is very difficult for me to just sit on the sidelines when I am by nature a very vocal person. I am by nature just me as my core. I don't bite my tongue. I am no shill. I am no defender of bullshit. If you are wrong, you're wrong. And if somebody can actually link me something that oh, Charlie Kirk was this or was that, then fine. I will look at it wholeheartedly and see, okay, he was what he was. So, but when I see a lot of people saying, oh, he was this and he was that in the negative context, and I'm like, okay, I will ask those people, all right, then show me something, any fucking thing, and I get crickets, what would you think? I mean, honestly, I just feel like it's very interesting to me. Like I say, I like to consider myself a semi-open book. I don't want to tell guys you guys everything about me, but I mean, let me be honest, right? I have about $9 in my checking account right now. Okay. I'm financially struggling. I'm just, I'm living in New York trying to keep my head above water. There's a lot of things about me I don't mind admitting. So I am a person that I want my subscribers to know who the fuck I am, who is the guy talking that has the fucking this brick background. I want people to know, because I want you to know exactly who you're subscribing to. But it's just wild to me that giving my own opinion results in some interesting discord. It's maybe I should just expect it. Maybe that's just what it is. Maybe it's worse as I climb higher in the YouTube space. I don't know. It's very interesting. But it is what it is, but anyway, so 16 people here, and unless you guys dip out, I want to just take this brief moment to acknowledge each and every one of you guys that's here right now. Believe me, it does mean a lot. I do take my time to appreciate my subscribers and my channel members. I do what I can. I'm a one-man fucking show here. I'm not Asmongold. I'm not making hundreds and thousands of dollars every month off of this shit, And so I understand that everybody has their own particular political view. I get that people have their own ideology when it comes to different things. Like for instance, I can break down Tekken 8 in a very detailed way that let me just say, and I don't mean this to sound very fucked up and condescending, but the average gamer, the person that just plays the game, mashes their buttons, I see things about Tekken 8 that those people cannot see. I look at it from a business standpoint, and I look at it from a game design standpoint. So when it comes to Tekken 8, I have those three perspectives. So when I look at things from a political standpoint, that is where, admittedly, I am the casual. But at the same time, I still have an opinion. And I do appreciate common sense. I do believe that men should not compete in women's sports. I do believe that fucking pedophiles should be completely exposed and processed to the full extent of the law. I do not believe that fucking men can become women and women can become men. There are only two fucking genders, and I'm not going to affirm to your fucking pronouns. So if that rubs people the wrong way, then so be it. Now, if those things honestly were not trickling into gaming, into shows, into our fucking school system, then would I really care that much about politics? Probably not. Probably because I'm not really an expert in it. But seeing all of the woke ideology that's being pushed in these games, where you're having literal game developers that are really, let's be fucking honest, they're really activists using gaming as a Trojan horse to push their mental illness fuckery onto the rest of us. That's what I see. And then, so this ties back to a segment that I did in my last video very recently, where I said, look, I'm not the foremost expert on politics, right? But I wanted to understand, where is all of these ideologies? Where's all of this woke culture, the all of this stuff that I've been seeing, the gay undertones? Where's all this stemming from over the course of a few years of me being a lifelong gamer? And then I traced it back, right? We get DEI, right? We get ESG, which is environmental social governance. I look at companies like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, the financial holding companies. I look at ESG risk assessments as to why companies push so heavily to have these sorts of representation. I look at all of this, and then I trace it even further, and I eventually come to what I believe is the source, and it is left-wing, liberal, democratic bullshit. That's where I link that. That's where I trace it back. Maybe it goes even further. I don't know. Maybe it goes even further. And maybe there are some people that actually like it that way. Maybe some people like open borders. Maybe some people, and just to kind of touch on that real quick, this is a question I have to, I guess, 8 of you, right? I want to ask all of you guys, for those, and if you're thinking about clicking off, just give me these next 10 seconds. I want to ask a question to everybody in the chat room. One of the things that I heard that Donald Trump, for instance, right, the demon himself, full sarcasm, that he wanted to put America first and he wanted to close down the borders, right? Now, the thing that I ask people is, if you are for open borders of the United States of America, but at the same time, when you go out to work, when you leave your house, do you not lock your front door? Do you not lock your apartment door? If you drive to the grocery store, do you leave your keys in the ignition and leave your car door open? Or do you take your keys and you make sure that your fucking car alarm is on and you lock your door? So I asked these same people, and I said, look, like, maybe I'm losing my mind here. But if you are in support of open borders, I'm just using this as an example, then why are you locking your property down? Why not just leave your doors open? Why not leave your keys in the ignition of your car or your pickup truck and just go about your day and see if it's still there when you come back? That's my question. That's what I'm wondering. And just like that, okay. I was about to say, just like that, it went from 18 people to 13 people. So 5 people just left out. So it's like, I can't win. I can't fucking win. So, it's like, when trying to have these sensible conversations, not everybody is going to meet you in that common sense realm. And I appreciate you guys that are commenting, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And also maybe some people have to dip off the stream. I get it. You're probably at work watching or whatever case is. But I just find it odd. So when I look at the political landscape and how it has been affecting video games, it's been affecting movies and shows, and you have some idiot governor in Minnesota that could have been our fucking vice president. We call him Tampon Tim, that believed in having tampons, a female feminine hygiene product, and putting them in boys' bathrooms. Yo. So, I don't mean to be political, but it's just like, this shit just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see how anybody with a right mind can support this. So while I would love to just play my video games and just enjoy my gaming, it's like I can't escape that. I can't even escape that either, because one of the first decisions you can make, instead of it being male and female, I'm seeing body type A and body type B. What? So I just shake my head. I'm literally mind fucked. What is a body type A? What, male? Is that what you're trying to say? Body type B is female, right? So, but it's getting to the point now where you can't even say male and female anymore. I remember even when I was going to Perscolis, it's kind of like a computer trade school. I heard that some of the computer books where they're talking about certain computer wires, like you have the male input and the female input, right? Like I heard that they did away with those terms as well. I can also remember another advertisement. I don't know if they changed it, but women's tampons, I think they removed woman from the packaging or some shit like that. It's like, it's fucking wild. So, I try to circle this back to Charlie Kirk's assassination, because all of these weird premises, these agendas, from what I can see, all stem from the left. Now, that's not to say that conservatives don't have their weird talking points. I'm not saying that either. But I have my particular stances on things. And when I look to either side to see which side is really making sense to me, it damn sure is not the left. It damn sure is not. And it sucks that I live in New York, which basically is by default always Democrat, because they're fucking brainwashed and Democrat. They're not doing shit for us, but Democrat. So it's like, I feel like even with me voting, for the other side, it doesn't matter, because the overwhelming population of New York is just going to go left. So it's almost like, what's the fucking point? It's more like you did it just to say you did it. Just to say, hey, I attempted to make my voice heard, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it is wild. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for chilling out with me. Wild Hyena Games. And I can see Hinduism is the old. Yeah, Hinduism, from what I understand, is the oldest religion. And I can see why the West eating meat, continuously not following basic rules. I can't really speak on that aspect. Because I don't really know the ins and outs of Hinduism. I know general things about Christianity and even less about Islam. But I try not to get too much into the specifics when it comes to religion. But when it comes to like this right versus left aspect, like I said, I'm looking at things that just make sense to me. Having a country with open borders, to me, it's like, oh, so you're the type that likes to leave your front door open, like so people could just some random strangers can just walk all up in your apartment, because that's essentially what having open borders on a country in the United States is. You don't know who's coming in and out of your fucking house. And on a country, it's on a much higher level. So that does not make sense why anyone would vote for that. So there's that. Then there's this whole pronoun business where I'm like, okay, I'm not going, like, if you got a person that looks like me and I'm saying address me as she and her, I'm not going to fucking do it. Fuck you. As far as I'm concerned, like, get your head examined, because that shit don't make sense to me. But at the end of the day, there are people that will fight tooth and nail for that. More power to them. It wouldn't be me. The argument I usually have is this. If we're talking about just gaming, right? Because I'm going to bounce between Charlie Kirk and gaming, because I'm just going to bounce around, because this is live. I don't have no fancy talking points here. I don't have a whiteboard. You know, I don't have any of that. So forgive me if I'm all over the place. But when I look at gaming as a whole, right? And rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, damn straight. And Maker Willing, I will not forget that man, and I will not forget what he achieved, and I will say that. And again, you know, if you're new here, right? Because I've just been talking about this, I challenge people in my own comment section, and they know who they are if and when they come across this live, whether they watch it live or they see it in the video format afterwards. The people that believe Charlie Kirk is racist, just to kind of say this again, because I'm going to repeat myself, because I don't know how many people are joining, you know, and seeing me right now in this moment. I challenge anybody to link me to any article, any podcast, any tweet that the man said that was quote unquote racist. I challenge that. Hopefully, maybe some of you guys will accept the challenge that believe that the man was racist. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, let me see. Yeah, like like I said, I would very much love to just enjoy my video games and just play whatever I want to play. And while I can do that, but I get annoyed. I get annoyed with the constant pandering. I get annoyed with the pushing of these clear agendas. Now, let me be clear. This is my opinion on what an agenda is. And this is how I see it, right? I know there's the Webster's Dictionary. I'm not going to fucking go through all that right now. Let me, you guys remember, I'm sure you guys do remember, the game called Concord, right? It was a game that Sony was pushing. This game, I believe, it did come out before the PlayStation 5 Pro, which, as far as I'm concerned, was an absolute scam to a lot of you Sony players. I really... Believe me, if I was a much, much larger channel, I would have been all over that story. I think I made 2 videos on the PS5 Pro, but it's a shame how Sony got y'all. But anyway, so before that system came out, I learned that Sony was positioning Concord to be a system seller for the PS5 Pro. And they had a big plan. From what I understand, they invested about $400 or so million into the game, and the game died in 2 weeks, right? Okay, I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of this. Oh, what's up, Divinity? I appreciate that, man. So the point that I wanna just try to, because sometimes when I look at the chat, I don't want to kind of get off topic and I lose my train of thought. So I apologize if you guys are saying stuff. It's not that I'm ignoring nobody. I don't know how I guess, you know, there's a difference between being a pro streamer and guys could just do this shit with their eyes closed. And yeah, I'm still getting there. But anyway, getting back to the whole Concord thing, it was clear from the marketing and the character design and things of that nature that this was not a game for me. Even if I owned a PlayStation, it was not a game that I would invest in. It just was not my cup of tea. So what I do know is that other game developers, they talk amongst each other. They may not be buddy-buddy, but they observe what happens. And I know for an absolute fact that many game developers seen the failure of Concord, and it was 1,000,000,000% clear that this was a game that was targeted for liberals, the left, you know, the pink hair, the gays, the trannies. That was a game for them. Let's just call it what it fucking is. Now, I do give them credit for at least trying to create an original IP. I do give them credit on that front. It was an original game. I will give that. That is where I would give them credit. But with the game failing the way I knew it would and the amount of money that was lost, you still have companies, gaming and otherwise, that sees what went down with that and continues to push the woke ideology, the slop, all of that bullshit. That, my friends, that is how I look at things as an agenda. When you push something out and it absolutely falls on its face, it fucking fails, and you have companies that's still pushing it, still going strong, that is an agenda. Because if this was just a regular business decision, companies would look at this and say, oh, that shit fucking failed. We're going this way. But you have companies that's like, nah, it's fine. We're going to keep going there. That's an agenda as far as I'm concerned. So you guys can let me know what you think of that. That's what I see. And then also, you know, I can see, you know, I can speak about Call of Duty. I can speak about Battlefield. I can speak about that crazy fucking liberal, what's her name, Erika Ishii, the chick that they replaced, the dude from what's the game, the Ghost of Yotai. I can talk about all this shit. But the problem is, for me, as a very small channel, and while I do appreciate all of my subscribers, I don't want that to be lost on anybody. But I mean, by definition, I am a tiny channel. You know, you got channels that are like in the hundreds of thousands that have such a vast reach and influence. I am not even a blip on these guys' radars. But I hope over the course of time, months, and maybe years, that I'm committed to this audience, I'm committed to my channel, that eventually I'll get to that level of influence to where I can give my own take to those that may want to listen and may even wish to support me financially or however. But it's gradual. But it's tough when I have certain people in my comment section from certain videos, and I don't want to drop any names. I believe unless they delete their own comments, you can find them still, where you'll have people that will literally say, well, I came to your channel because of, I don't know, Tekken, and I don't care about you speaking on politics. And then there was a gentleman who was actually in this very this chat right here. He came to my defense, and I appreciate that. And you know who you are. You're already in the chat right now. And he basically addressed that particular individual. During that time, I was knocked out of sleep because I didn't even know that was even happening. And he went on to say, like, look, his channel is Red Related. And so I appreciated that. I really appreciate, so salute to you on that. And I think that people, I don't know if I really explained the whole Red Related aspect. When I started this channel, I did think of calling myself blah, blah, blah gaming. Like, in fact, the first name I had in mind was I was going to call myself Crimson Gaming. That's what I was going to call myself. And this was years ago. I was going to call myself Crimson Gaming, but I knew I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into any particular thing because I wanted to be able to pivot to things that I wanted. So when I came up with the name Red Related, everybody that knows me personally knows me as Red, especially from my competitive Tekken days. I was known as Blood Red. Other people called me Bloody Bison, but that's a story in and out of itself. But Blood Red was my tournament name in Tekken. So my name has always been Red for eons. I always thought about adding Red as my actual name, maybe as a middle name. So when I look at Red Related, basically I look at things. My little slogan was this. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? This is Red Related, where I speak on things that relates to me. If they relate to you, then maybe we have a. I don't know, it was some fucking cheap shit that I had to say. I wrote it down several months ago, but basically, it's like the things that relates to me are gaming, fitness, some entertainment news, and certain things that happen in the world that capture the attention of the world. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if it relates to me and it relates to you, then I guess we have a connection, and maybe we can, you'll subscribe, maybe join and listen to me yap about it. But, that's just the general premise of the channel. So my channel is not tied to Tekken, is not tied to. If anything, if I had to put a niche on it, yeah, I would say it's gaming and fitness. But a man literally got shot in the neck for voicing his opinion. So I'm sorry for sharing my thoughts on that. It's just wild how some people, they're so sensitive, they're so emotional. I would dare even call them fucking liberals, because that to me, that's liberal tendencies, isn't it? The inability to argue or debate your point, but instead you jump to a level of emotions to where you're like, you just throw your hands up and you just give up and walk away and just storm away. That's what I come to see some people act as, and I'm just not a fan of that. So those 20 people that have unsubscribed from me, I wish you luck in your future endeavors. Let's just put it that way. Because I feel like at the end of the day, people, especially on like social media and YouTube, some people, they won't be with you for the entire journey. I have a few people that, that are day ones, that are day zeros, that's on my channel. I do have that, and I appreciate each and every one of them. And some of them, they'll fall off because, maybe I make one video that, I like, let's say if I talk about like Battlefield 6 is coming out, right? Battlefield 6, I believe it's October. I forgot when Battlefield 6 comes out, but I'm going to buy the game and I'm going to play it. I'm going to stream it and all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to have some people that are just diehard Tekken players that are just going to unsubscribe from my channel because they happen to see me streaming Battlefield 6. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I use as an example because I am a gamer. I enjoy playing different games. To be perfectly frank with you guys, my favorite genre of games are Souls-like, stealth, action adventure. Those are my actual favorite games to play. I just competed in Tekken. I just play fighting games from a competitive nature. But do I really like Tekken? Especially Tekken 8? Fuck no. I play Tekken 8 because literally I've been playing that franchise all of my life. So it's hard for me to just say, I'm going to quit the game. And also, I am appreciative that Tekken 8 has afforded me hundreds of subscribers. So I kind of can understand why some people would leave, but it still kind of sucks. It's like, damn, the idea, and maybe it's naive of me to think this, I would eventually like to build an audience where people come to see me and not necessarily me ranting about a fucking video game. Like, that's ideally what I would like. I know, like, for instance, like when you find somebody talking about something and you subscribe to them for that one thing, obviously that's what they were talking about in that moment. But I would like to eventually have that audience where, I could talk about this, I can talk about that, and people will still rock with me. And that's hard to do, but that's the goal. That's the aim. And I know that I may have opinions and views that might, people might disagree with. I mean, come on. Who in your life do you agree with 100% of the time? I know I don't. And, I do what it is, Hey, what up, Dominique? Share your thoughts because there are a lot of people staying silent. And it's sad. We were always taught as kids what is right and right. Exactly. We're taught this, but a lot of times people forget these lessons, or they purposely just put it out their mind, and it really, like, it angers me that this guy, and going back to Charlie Kirk, because I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between him and other things. It angers me that this man got shot, assassinated because he had a difference of opinion. Like, it upsets me because, I've said this before, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So even if you disagree with this guy, there were things that he said that just made sense. Now, did I agree with everything that Charlie Kirk had to say? No. There were some things I was kind of like, I don't really know about this. But for the most part, if you are somebody that is a public speaker, whether it's politician or just a famous celebrity, and you are preaching common fucking sense, I'm going to align with you. That's just how it is for me. That's just how it is. But there are a lot of fickle people, and it's true, what I'm saying? But I will say, since there are a couple people here, for those that are really into Tekken, I will finally be making an appearance on Mike Hollow's stream or podcast or what have you. He and we spoke. Well, we didn't speak actively. We were exchanging messages, but there was the time delay when I respond and he responds. So he's in the United Kingdom. So he says he wants to go live at 7:30 his time, which I believe is 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in New York. So I will be making my appearance finally on Mike Hollow's podcast to talk about good old Tekken 8 and probably some other things as well. And I know his audience is way large, and hopefully, I have some people there that will ask some sensible questions because I definitely would like to engage with that with his audience and just give my perspectives as to what I see the problem is with Tekken, and speak about it from a business, a game design, and a gamer perspective. And I don't see many people doing that. So I definitely look forward to that conversation. I don't know if he's going to have anybody else on with me. Maybe. But if he does, I'm going to ask him to allow me a moment to introduce myself to his audience, because I know I've seen Shinblade on there a few times. I think I've seen a guy named Blackheart. He's in the Tekken community as well. He's been on there. Maybe King Jay. So if I can have a moment, and I'm pretty sure he'll let me, just to kind of introduce myself to his audience, because I'm sure many on because he has over 20 something thousand subscribers, so they're probably not going to know who the fuck I am. Maybe a few would know me from my past tournament days in Tekken, but I doubt it. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's just kind of something that I'm going to be interested in doing that. So I don't know, man. I just I had in mind to talk about when I started the stream, to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing, talk about the loss of 20 something subscribers because I'm covering that particular situation, talk about some of my feelings about the games industry and where it's going, and just, maybe some of you guys have questions. Maybe we can spark our own dialogue. That's what I wanted to do. And yeah, but I would say, if I am to speak about the current gaming industry, there are, and I've said this before and I will keep saying this again, we have too many game developers that are truly activists posing as game developers, and they are using our passion to push their mental illness fuckery into our space, and to speak out against it. Basically, you see the word blank phobe. So you're a transphobe, you're a homophobe the minute you speak out against this nonsense. And in my prior videos, whenever I spoke about this, and this was back when I had like 50 subscribers, like these like older videos. When I spoke about these things, and I said, looking at the camera, in fact, I'm gonna recreate this. Let me take a swig of water real quick. So I want to address the alphabet community. I want to address those that believe in the woke agenda, all of you guys that push the message of the modern audience. This is for you guys probably after this stream goes in, after it goes live. If you guys want inclusion so bad, you guys are in several high-level positions as game developers, game creators, creative leads, and so on and so forth. What is stopping some of you guys from creating your own intellectual properties? That's my question to you guys, right? What is stopping you guys from creating, like, let's say Star Wars, right? What is stopping you guys from making gay wars, where in a galaxy far, far away, there's nothing but transsexuals, gay people, if you want representation? What's stopping you guys from doing that? Why do you guys have to insert those aspects into an already established IP that the vast majority of the audience, whether black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Spanish, whatever, the vast majority, probably in the very high percentage, are straight, normal men and women? So when you have these aspects that's pushed in, that is funneled in like a Trojan horse, are you guys really that surprised when that same audience pushes back, review bombs the content? When it comes time for foreign and domestic sales, you've missed the mark? That's the thing that I don't understand. If you wanted to create your own game, do so. Because I'm not the one that's saying people who are gay and homo and trannies and so on and so forth. I'm not saying that you guys can't make your own games. I'm not saying that. But I don't want to see it. I am not your target audience. So, but this is what I think is going on. This is what I think is going on. Okay? So, this is my opinion. I believe that deep down they know that they do not have a sustainable audience that is going to support their title, their game, their show, their movie. So what they have to do, they have to leverage nostalgia, and they have to leverage name recognition of something that already exists to push their message, like kind of like I said, a Trojan horse. Because when you go to the movie theater or when you pick up and play this game, you don't know if there's going to be some gay bullshit that's in the game. You don't really know if there's going to be pronouns unless somebody happens to play the game early and you're subscribed to that particular creator's channel. But if you are tuned out from that, and you just like, yo, you know what? I want to buy this game. It looks pretty cool. The next thing you know, you see a fucking the character flirting with your main character. You're like, what is this? And it's for this reason why I say, why don't these people create games that are for specifically for their own target audience. So that way, there will be no issues of people that would go and review bomb and so on, because we would know that it's not for us. That's really my, I guess, my stance on that. And I don't think that's an unfair position, right? Like, I'm not saying, okay, well, don't create. I'm not saying that. But when you go and you take a franchise like Dragon Age, which is one of my all-time favorite RPGs, and yes, I know, as somebody who's been playing all the games, I know that there have been gay undertones and shit like that, and believe me, I can reference a few of them. But Dragon Age: The Veilguard was dialed up to like 12. It was dialed up to 12, and what I'm 94% sure that is what ruined that game. If you were to take out those aspects of Dragon Age: The Veilguard when it came out last year, I'm willing to wager that game would have done far better commercially and review-wise than it did. But unfortunately, you had a transsexual, a man masquerading as a woman, that wanted to push the message. It is what it is. Hey, what's up, Jules? So I just, it just frustrates me. And then when I look at where these, and it all comes back down to me, to the liberal side, the progressive side, the democratic side, if we're looking at it from a political standpoint, because these ideologies, these agendas come from the left. That's where they come from. And now that I've kind of dipped my toe into this whole political thing, I'm seeing it more and more. And I guess you can say I have gaming to thank for it, because honestly, if I wasn't seeing this show up in my games, I probably, like, I really wouldn't, like, I would hear politics on the news naturally, because you're flicking through the channels and whatever, you're gonna come across certain things, but I wouldn't be speaking on it to the degree I am, and I wouldn't have the feelings I have on it were it not for what I see in gaming and certain shows that I've watched. And it sickens me. It frustrates me, because some of these people will say, well, it doesn't hurt you. Why does it matter? Well, it does matter. And it does bother me, because when I want to enjoy one of my passions, I have to question, am I going to encounter a gay character that's going to try to make out with my male character? Am I going to come across that? Like, we try to tolerate it. We try to work around it, which is what I used to do when I played Dragon Age 1, 2, Inquisition, Mass Effect, all these games. Even other games I've played that had those type of elements. You try to play around it. But it's another when you got, like I said, Dragon Age Veilguard, they just said, fuck it, we're just going to go full on with this shit. And it angered me that that franchise is doomed. One of my favorite RPG franchises is fucking doomed because some tranny wanted to go into business for himself and basically ruined a fucking amazing franchise. It frustrates me. But again, these are the talking points. These are the talking points. These are the agendas of the liberals. This is what I've come to learn. So I don't know if you guys agree or not, but it is what it is. I just feel like at the end of the day, it's truly bizarro land. It truly is. It's truly bizarro land. But I don't see this changing. I don't see it changing because there the agenda is in full swing. The agenda is full swing. And yeah, and everybody, what Jules says here is absolutely correct. Dragon Age the Veilguard is, and I thought about streaming that game. I thought about it, and I probably should, right? I should, like, honestly speaking, I do sometimes think, if I go and stream this game, who the fuck is going to tune in and watch? That's sometimes what I think, right? Because if I'm not playing Tekken, I know everybody wants to see me play Tekken and talk shit about Tekken, you know, but a lot of times I'd much rather play a nice RPG. You know, that's what I would like to play. And I don't know, maybe it's just silly of me, but yeah. Hey, Jules, if you're willing to watch, believe me, I would put on probably the best stream I possibly can if you would be my lone viewer. And I would also show, I would look at it as if I'm giving you like a personal like game review, you know, because that's something I would like to do in the future. Just as a side thing, I would love to be able to be in those positions where I get early access and review games, because there are things about Dragon Age the Veilguard that I really, really do like. The same thing with Avowed. I know the game Avowed also had its controversy. I've gotten pretty far in that game, and the thing I think the thing with me is I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing my views on a game. Like, when I look at Dragon Age the Veilguard, the narrative decisions specifically tied to the Tosh character, you know, the non-binary character, that's the one aspect of the game I wish I can Thanos snap my fingers and it just deleted. That is really the one aspect, because even people that was covering that game, including myself, but much larger channels, I didn't really see them talk much about the only other thing actually people mention is that they didn't like the art direction. I did hear that a lot. But I do have a thought on that it doesn't nullify that particular argument, but the art direction didn't bother me as much as it did other people. I found the combat in Dragon Age the Veilguard to be the absolute best that I've played out of all of the Dragon Ages. This is because I have all three games, so I would know. And I not too long ago played Inquisition, and yeah, the combat is not it's not the best selling point. Let's say that. But I did like that in Dragon Age Inquisition, for those that may have played, it is possible for you to dismiss party members. In Dragon Age the Veilguard, you can't do that. You're just stuck with who you got. But, you know, I would definitely love to stream that game and many other games. You know, I still would like to stream. Actually, I did stream Assassin's Creed Shadows. In fact, that I do have a stream video on my channel, but from several months ago. But yeah, you know, I definitely would love to do that. 100%. 100%. You know, but yeah, man, I'm just trying to, oh, Ninja Gaiden, believe me, I still want to play that. Like this, like I said, man, there's so many games that I want to play and just show just my love and passion for it. And which is the reason why I didn't want to get too caught up in the whole Tekken talk, because I feel like that it's I don't want to be known as the Tekken guy, the Tekken channel. You know what I'm saying? Even though Tekken does bring in a lot of viewers for me, but I don't want to be so much entrenched in it to where the minute I play something else, everybody leaves. I don't want that, you know, because to me, even if Tekken was in a place that I liked, I still would like to showcase other games on my channel. You know, for instance, like I said, I love Souls-like games. I love, you know, Lords of the Fallen. I think that is one of the best Souls-like games I've ever played. I'm definitely looking forward to Lords of the Fallen 2. I feel that the CEO of CI Games, I follow him on Twitter, and he listens to his audience. When he decided to remove the body type A and body type B to go back to male and female, that to me spoke volumes. And I respect creators like that, developers like that. And I will 100% support guys like that. So I'm looking forward to that game, and many other types of games out there, yes. In was this no glitching? Yeah, I did train fighting GM and Tekken. Very, very long time ago. Very short. He was 13 years old when I met him, and he was a scrub, like so many of us were when we started, but he had a lot of passion for the game. He was a very YOLO. That's why I kind of laugh whenever some time ago when I would hear him complain, like, oh, he just fucking did it. He's fucking random. And I'd laugh because I and people from my era, we remember him being the very same way. So I kind of find it funny. But yeah, even though fighting GM is a little bit weird, a little bit off, but his passion for Tekken is very high. And I saw the potential in him, and I took it upon myself to travel from Queens all the way to where he used to live in the Bronx, and train him. And eventually I wasn't able to do so. I think I eventually came down sick or something, and then eventually my friend Sanford, legendary OG player Sanford Kelly, he took over. So I like to say that fighting GM is a product of both Sanford Kelly and myself. But I am pleased to say that I was around for his beginning, and the things that he's accomplished in Tekken is amazing. He's won several championships. He's done extremely well for himself. I think he even has a very successful YouTube channel. So I haven't spoken to him in a number of years. I lost contact with him, which was my own fault. And I hope at some point in time I can mend that bridge. But, that's all I can say on that. But yeah, and that's why even though there are some good games coming out, I prefer retro, good story, good characters. Yeah, believe me, Grandia and Lunar, man, yo, what do you guys know about fucking Hide Lied? Okay, you guys, that's before you guys' time. Okay, if you type, go on YouTube and type in Hide Lied. I think it was HYDLIDE. It was an old game for Nintendo, old NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. That's the shit that I used to play. Okay, that game had like one theme music the entire game. I remember it used to go like, no, wait, fuck. I'm thinking about Indiana Jones for a second. But anyway, if you go and you'll see what I mean. And another great NES game, I can't believe I'm talking about this right now. That's the beauty of live streams, right? You can just talk about whatever. Is an old game called Battle of Olympus. That was one of my favorite games for Nintendo. Oh my God. That's a game I kind of wish they would remaster, just selfishly, because I don't know who originally made the game, but I really enjoyed that game. It was based off Greek mythology. It was really, really good. I never beat the game, but I got really far. It was really, really something. But recently, I love games like the Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. What's a Blasphemous one? I haven't played 2 yet because I haven't been able to buy it because I'm poor. But I have Blasphemous 1. That's another game I like to stream. A game called The Messenger. That's a very cool ninja type game. In fact, ironically, it's supposed to be the prequel of another amazing game I cannot recommend you guys to play enough. It's called Sea of Stars. It was on Game Pass for a long time, and I think they recently came out with a DLC. So Sea of Stars, a phenomenal, like, back in the day, kind of reminds you of like a 16-bit era RPG. The Messenger was kind of like a precursor to Sea of Stars. And I only knew this because I watched a content creator talk about it. And I was like, holy shit. Like, he was actually putting together the actual, like, the links. And I was like, wow, I did not realize this. And that's when I decided to buy the Messenger game when it was on sale. So, yeah. So I was pretty cool. You know, it was pretty cool. What's up, Charlie? I tried Tobal 1 a long time ago. I didn't own Tobal 1. If I remember, it was a friend of mine that lent me the game. So I didn't have much time with it. I think I had it for like a weekend before I had to bring it back to school. But I enjoyed it. I remember, I don't remember much about it, but I remember I enjoyed it. So that's as much as I can say, because it was a long time ago for me. It's kind of like when I think back on my time of Tekken 1 versus Battle Area Toshinden 1. And I know that I played Battle Area Toshinden far more, and I felt it was a better overall game. Tekken 1 was absolute trash as far as I'm concerned. But they did a lot of enhancements to Tekken 2, which in my opinion saved that franchise, because if Tekken 2 would have bombed, I don't think we would have had Tekken 3 and the rest. So I do think that Tekken 2 really was, it was like day and night from like Tekken 1 as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, man, the Sea of Stars, it's amazing game. You know, since you're saying that you're close to beating it, I love the female ninja character, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but you know, I'm sure you know, because you're saying that you're close to beating it. When she revealed her secret, I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow. Like that game, I can say, has very good writing. The writing in that game is very good. I will say that. But yeah, you know, I just wish that more game developers would put the priority in making a good quality game over pushing their identity politics. I just feel that when it comes to making a game, you're making a video game. Here's a t-shirt for you guys. Here's a t-shirt. To game developers, focus on making a game instead of making a statement. What's up, Millie? And yeah, I mean, just want to say I appreciate you guys for even being here. Yeah, so let me look at, I'm just reading some of the chat here. Veilguard, from a design and gameplay perspective, was fine. It was the cringe scenes with that weird ass character Tosh. Yes, 100%. Reen, you hit that nail right on the head, even though I'm reading it like way after the fact you typed it. And then Jules, you're saying, from what I've seen in the combat, it was nice and fun. The customization for me was annoying since I want to make my character beautiful. Yeah, if that's the thing. If you want to make a beautiful looking character in Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I will say that they have this old saying that I think it goes, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But I think when it comes to Dragon Age: The Veilguard, I think it's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky. But yeah, you know, I really, one of the things that really stood out to me with Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and when I stream the game, and maybe I'll stream it tonight. I don't know. I'm kind of, you know, maybe I'll go and download the game to my Xbox pretty soon. Is I love how the character feels in the world. Like some games, from a character design standpoint, the character feels really floaty. It doesn't feel like the character is actually in the environment. Like it feels like when you move the character, it's almost like they're ice skating. I don't know how else to really explain it, but I like that your character in Veilguard feels weighted. You know, even like one of the things that I feel is very difficult for game developers is when you have a character, like when you're going up steps, you can actually see a character in Veilguard. You can actually see your character placing their foot on each individual step in real time. And it doesn't look as if it doesn't look like they're sliding up the steps. It looks like they're actually walking up the steps. And I know that attention to detail is not easy to do. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Veilguard, narratively, I can't say a whole lot because I didn't beat the game. I think, let me just say, the furthest I got in Veilguard, I got Lucanus, which, if you don't even know who the fuck that is, that's a guy that's kind of like the assassin character. So far, he's like my favorite character right now. I think I'm on the path to getting the Grey Warden, the Black Elf, the what's his name? Darwin, I think that's his name is. I think that's his name. Darwin. I forgot what his name was, but I'm on the path to getting him, but I didn't get him yet. So I haven't really gotten that far in the game, honestly. But from what I've seen of the combat, the armor customizations, the skill tree, how you can build up your character, I really enjoy it. You know, but I understand some people will find fault 100% with the narrative direction. I get it. You know, I'm not even gonna throw shade at those people because it, you know, even along my path of playing the game early on, there were a few scenes in the game where, like for instance, the dwarf, the female dwarf, Harding, when she gets the ability to control the earth, it makes sense for her as a dwarf, but it may not make sense in the sense of the lore of Dragon Age, because the lore of Dragon Age stated that dwarves were cut off from magic. But you know, whatever. But I just found it was kind of weird how that scene happened, where she pushes your main character out the way, and then she grabs the thing, and the way she react, like, I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird to me. Like when I first saw it, it was like what's going on here? But yeah, you know, let me see. Let me go down and see what you guys are. Oh, what up, Beast? What else? What's going on, bro? Hope all is well with you and that you're enjoying your day, doing whatever it is that you got going on. But yeah, I just think that the you were talking about the Metroid Prime yeah, Metroid Prime 4. I think for me, I've seen a lot of the Nintendo defenders and such talking about that game. I don't know much about it, but the little bit that I did see about the game, when I saw that scene, I was like, this is not it. This is not it. When they went back to like the first person view of Samus in combat, I was like, okay, now you got me. Now you got me. Because now I don't know how much emphasis they're going to be placing on that particular aspect of the game. Because I seen it did not work with Gears of War 5, and I did say this in a prior stream where I was comparing those segments with Gears 5 and how they wanted to experiment with open world, and it just didn't work out very well. And the only difference here is the graphical direction and the fact that it looks, well, you are battling enemies while in this open world. But I just did not like the way it looked. And I don't know what level of improvement people can really expect from the Switch 1.5. I mean, excuse me, the Switch 2, paying an extra $10 for that version. I don't really know. I have no idea. But I think at the end of the day, I'm sure, and I've said this many times, I don't mind the position. Like, let me rewind this. I don't have an issue with the developers with their work on the games and the hardware of Nintendo. My issue has always stemmed with the leadership of that company. I cannot stand Nintendo as a company. I think that they are fucking scum. I think that they are full of anti-consumeristic, if that's even a word. If it's not, I just made it up. Practices. I don't like how they take advantage of their, I would call them their naive fan base, because Nintendo fans are very naive. They will literally accept damn near anything. There are very few I have seen that will voice their opinions in opposition, but most of the time Nintendo fans will accept just about anything. And the nostalgia is strong with Nintendo. And this is where they are able to command such a premium price for that little console, the Switch 1.5, because in no fucking reality is that handheld worth $500. There's no dimension that anyone is going to convince me that the Nintendo Switch the Switch 2 is worth $500. The fuck out of here. There's no way. At the most, I can see 400. Honestly, I see that for what you are getting graphically and what's under the hood, it is $350 as far as I'm concerned. But I'm sure, there are people that have opposing views, and that is the beauty of the United States of America, that we can each share our views and we can ultimately agree to disagree. But again, I hate to circle back around to, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk. When he essentially did that, he ended up paying the ultimate price thanks to a fucking extremist liberal, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm still bitter and angry about that. Because here I am on my YouTube channel, I can be in opposition of Nintendo and things of that nature. But, at least I can wake up in the morning, but anyway, but yeah, what's up? A Raptor, AK Raptor. Yeah. What's up, Sam Leb? So what's going on, guys? Guys that's new to the chat. And like Charlie said, I'm gonna go on, like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna be on Mike Hollow's stream, Maker Willing, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna be talking about Tekken, and I think it's gonna be a good discussion. But as far as Tekken 8 being done, Tekken 8 isn't done, Charlie. I think what it really is that it's just a major. I mean, it could be done for you. Right, but the game is, to my understanding, it's still making money. It's they're pushing their Tekken shop, they're pushing their fucking DLC costumes that we had back in, it's like they're reselling us the same shit, because the game was not designed for us. It was designed for low level casuals and beginner players that are very new to the franchise. That's where that is their targeted audience for Tekken 8. Of course, you have OGs that still play the game and compete, yes, but make no mistake, this game had a very clear mandate, and it is satisfying that mandate. And it is what it is. And as a result, I do believe that when Virtua Fighter 6 does come out, and hopefully Sega sticks the landing and tries not to compete with Tekken and stays true to their roots, I do see a potential exodus of Tekken players that are going to say, fuck you, Namco, we're going over here to try this new shit. I do see that happening. I don't know how many people are going to leave, but I think if we see somebody like Arslan Ash or somebody like maybe like a Tekken, like somebody that the community really respects, and if we see that player or players kind of they slow down their Tekken action and they prioritize Virtua Fighter, that's going to hit the scene hard. So I'm very curious to see if that's going to take place. I'm very curious. I guess we'll see. We shall see about that. Yeah. So the thing is with Nintendo, as it pertains to you know, the ownership, the game key cards and shit like that. You know, it's a very odd, like, it's a very odd practice. You know, I'm sure somebody that's more familiar with Nintendo would be able to explain it better, because I think I had an explanation for it months ago when I was covering Nintendo a lot, but I kind of forgot a lot of it. Honestly, I just think it's just a lot of extra steps for the consumer, unnecessary steps for Nintendo to have a little bit more of a degree of control over your purchase, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I think. But yeah, I just think it's just an unnecessary extra step for the consumer of, you know, when it pertains to Nintendo, as far as I'm concerned. Let me see. Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is the shift from physical. I hope nobody rings my bell. I'm hearing. Yeah, I hope nobody rings the bell, because I don't want the fucking loud ass bell noise to come across the microphone. Okay, good, okay. Because you know, like I'm in a building with like five other apartments or so, or six, or I forgot fucking how many, and it's like somebody will ring the bell, but they'll ring every fucking bell. I can't stand that shit. But anyway, I'm glad that didn't happen. So, but yeah, I think I wanted to speak more about this when it comes to like digital media, like how we're going from the age of having something in your hand where you can say, okay, I have it physically in my hand, as to basically you're licensing it, because that's really what it is. You're licensing it. You don't own it. I don't think you can really own something in the owner sense if you cannot physically touch it. You know, like if it's a license, they can deny your access to that license. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that is something that is it's off-putting, but unfortunately, that is where the industry is going. And you have to understand, subscription-based services does play a role in that. So that's why when people, I see people criticize Game Pass, where I do feel it is a very strong value. In that sense, yeah, you're renting essentially licenses to play those games on Game Pass. However, because I understand what Game Pass is and what Game Pass is not, I'm willing to accept that. I don't feel like I'm really being lied to. I don't feel like I'm being placed through these extra steps the way Nintendo does things with their little digital card key fucking nonsense. I pay for my little membership, Game Pass Ultimate. with tax. I think it's like 2176 with tax. And I know that I have hundreds of games from all different type of genres that I can play, whether from the cloud, and your mileage will vary based on your own internet speed, or I just download the games I want to play at that particular time. And of course, if you are one of those guys that you might see like one or two games that you're interested in playing, then you're probably better off just buying that game and not spending money on Game Pass. So that's the value that I see in Game Pass. You know, I understand that some people may think otherwise, and that's fine. But for someone like me who doesn't have a lot of money, this is why I'm trying to convince people, and I do want to circle back to this, call it my pitch for people to join my memberships, because I am poor. I ain't gonna lie, I'm financially struggling. So to be able to have a little something coming in from doing this YouTube thing would be awesome. And it's a lot of confidence boosting too, because it's like, all right, I'm making videos where I feel like I can go more in depth and speak to things in a greater detail, and I know that there's like a small growing sect of people that will watch that particular video, and I don't have to go above and beyond with the description, with the thumbnail. I can just upload it, and I know that if people are paying for it, they're more than likely going to watch it. So trying to build those members is very key for me. But time will tell. And also trying to get more and more suggestions on what would stand out for people, as far as I'm concerned. But unfortunately, as it pertains back to the original point before I kind of got off on a tangent, sorry, but that's going to happen. It's live. When I look at Game Pass, I think it's just an amazing service, at least for me, because like I said, I don't have the money to go out and buy this game, buy that game, buy this game. I don't have it. Believe me, if I did have the money, I would love to pay for those games. But I don't have it like that. Like, for instance, Battlefield 6 is probably going to be my next game that I'll purchase outright. Black Ops 7, I will play it because it's in Game Pass, just like I played Black Ops 6. So that's pretty much what it is. I love it. And, I do feel at the end of the day, I think with Game Pass, I like that even if you decide to buy the game, obviously it'll be digital, right? After you play it, you're getting an additional discount off of it also. So while you can argue and say, well, this is just Microsoft pushing digital sales, and that is true. However, they are also still giving you pretty solid value in that regard. So I see the argument for both sides. Believe me, I'm born in the fucking 80s. I'm born in 1980. So I came up in the era of owning your fucking games. But at the same time, because I'm well versed in business and marketing, I understand the direction that we're going. I don't have to agree with it, but I understand and I see it. Much like I eventually see Game Pass being integrated at some point, and I'm willing to say this with about 80% certainty, Game Pass will probably find its way onto Nintendo ecosystems and Sony. I do see that. I see that happening about 80%, because Microsoft is able to do what both Nintendo and Sony are not fiscally or financially able to do. Microsoft can fight multiple battles on different fronts. Sony and Nintendo cannot do that. If Sony were to really commit to something very, very expensive, it has to be a calculated move that is going to reap them rewards. Sony cannot take a several $100 million hit. in my opinion, when they got hit with that Concord failure, that hurt them a lot. Sony can't take a lot of those on the chin. So, whereas Microsoft can take a few of those. Microsoft can take a few Concord-like losses as opposed to Nintendo or Sony. And that's not my opinion. That is a fact. Because I do look at the stock of all those companies, and it from a financial aspect, it is not even fucking close. It's not close. But yeah, the discounts, yes. So yeah, Charlie, I am on console. If that question was to me, Path of Exile, I don't know what's going on with Path of Exile 2. Because for whatever reason, every time I think I have to pay for it, which is fine, but I thought it was a free to play game. Like, for instance, I can download Path of Exile 1 and play it, but I can't do it on Xbox for the second game. So I don't know, because I was looking forward to that game. So I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it. And but another game I was looking forward to playing was No Rest for the Wicked. I was looking forward to playing that as well. So yeah, but I feel like when you have, I think people forget that Microsoft, or should I say Phil Spencer's vision of Game Pass was not an original idea. He basically benchmarked an idea. It's a marketing term when you benchmarking ideas. He got the premise from Netflix. This is why Game Pass is essentially the Netflix of gaming. Because certain people like Phil Spencer and other individuals in different businesses, they saw the potential, they saw where the future was going. And, you know, there's so many subscriptions, like for instance, Adobe, right? You know, Photoshop, you have Adobe After Effects, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro. Those are subscription services. You know, I use CapCut for my videos, right? I don't have the money to spend for Adobe stuff. If I did, I probably would switch, because I'm very familiar with Adobe Premiere. I'm very familiar, but I don't have the money. But that's an example right there that we are seeing more and more streaming services. I remember it was Netflix and Hulu. I always thought Hulu was just going to get bought out by Netflix, so I'm surprised Hulu is even still around. And then you got CBS, you got Paramount, you got Peacock, and all these fucking Disney Plus, and all these fucking companies they're just X-copying off of each other, you know? And, but Microsoft, Phil Spencer was one of those guys that were, obviously he wasn't first, but it was definitely, he was one of the earlier people to the party, so to speak, when it came to that. And, you know, this is why when people talk about Microsoft is done because they're putting Gears of War on Sony PlayStation. And it's just funny to me. Like, there's a guy, he's a content creator. I'm pretty sure some of you guys heard of him. It's called Dreamcast Guy. I've seen a few other creators make fun of him because he stays saying that Xbox is doomed, Xbox is dead. It's actually quite the meme at this point. And maybe he does it for views. Maybe, you know, he's a much larger channel than I am. But it's just funny how almost every other video is just him saying that Xbox is doomed because of blank. And it's just funny to me that I think people seem to forget that Sony at one point in time were so anti-crossplay. Sony was against the Game Pass model because they went officially on record and say that it's not a sustainable business model. They also went on record and saying that they would not release their first party games day and date on PC. See, the thing is, I remember all of this shit because I actually follow the industry. And then what are we seeing now? We're seeing Sony And I'm not throwing no shade toward them. It's good business. But it's just funny to me that to see Sony as a company just completely sing a different tune and essentially X-copying so many of Microsoft's business practices. It's quite funny to me. It is quite funny to me. But it is what it is. It doesn't change the fact that I will agree that the Sony developers, like Mark Cerny, the guy who creates I think he's the lead designer of the hardware. The man is a genius. The work he's done on the PlayStation consoles is very, very strong. So I will give the man his flowers. A lot of the developers of like Santa Monica Studios and Naughty Dog and those type of guys, like they have very talented people. But again, much like my thoughts on the Nintendo leadership, when I look at the Sony leadership, many of them are really looking at Microsoft and X-copying a lot of what Microsoft does. And that's not my opinion. That is an absolute fact. Because if you really want to dig through the crates of the internet, you can literally find actual quotes from Jack Tretton, Kaz Hirai, Ken Kutaragi. These are all Sony PlayStation big top wigs that would say various things about Microsoft, things that they don't believe in, things that they would not do. And now here we are, they're doing all of them. It is what it is. But this is I just feel like, yeah, Dreamcast guy, he's an interesting character. Let's just put it that way. But he gets his views, he gets his audience, and hey, people like to listen to him, so you gotta respect him for that. The man has, in fact, you know what? I'm curious. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me set this up real quick, because I don't even think I've even set up my, let's look at other things here. Hold on for a second, because I'm curious of something. Let me go to YouTube and let me just make sure it's showing this on screen. Okay, so it should be showing it right now. So let's see, Dreamcast guy. Where does he rank? All right, Dreamcast guy. Wow. So this guy has 245,000 subscribers, but then again, he has over 3,000 videos. That is definitely nothing to sneeze at. It is what it is. One day, hopefully, I'll get to that level and maybe even surpass. But, when I look at people like him and I look at, I do benchmark a lot. When I look at a lot of creators, like for instance, when I look at his join, let's go to his join, right? So basically to join his membership, it's $5 a month. So he has only one tier. So you give him $5 a month, and I guess you get whatever you get from him. So when I looked at so I guess to kind of go off topic a little bit, when I was looking to see how I want to do my own memberships, I was looking at different channels to see what are other channels doing. And that's where I was like, all right, so this person, they're doing 3 tiers, so I'll do 3 tiers. So that's where that comes from. But when I look at channels like him, I'm like, you know what? I may not agree with a lot of the things that he says, but the man does say, some weird things. He does say some odd things, but the man is, he's crushing it, and yeah, you see, the thing is, this is what I've come to learn, Jules, is you can have bad takes, and unfortunately, people watch. I think people love drama, and I think this is why, even though whenever I talk about Tekken 8 and I'm ranting and raving, people like to, I guess, see me talk shit about that game, even though I'm speaking from a factual standpoint, but people like to hear the rants. And, you know, but I guess, you know, some people like the drama. Some people just, I don't know. It's just, you know, everybody has their own thing, you know. But then I look at this particular guy. I usually look at him as a lot. I look at Luke Stevens. Now this is a guy that has a lot of subscribers, 202K subscribers. I like this. I like how clean this little banner is. I would like to do something like, see, this is why I say I kind of like to benchmark, because I like to do, I would like to have something like this for my channel. But you know, I'm not the best when it comes to designing things, but I'll probably watch a few YouTube videos to learn things. After all, I did do my own overlay, so I'm proud of that. But again, if we look at his join, you see he has, wow, holy fuck. Man has 5, 10, and he has 100 a month. No one should choose this. Yo, that is hilarious. Wow, that is what. I'm pretty sure he has at least one person that probably chose that. I'm pretty sure he does. I wouldn't even be surprised. Yo, that's wild. But yeah, you know, I think, I don't know, man. You just try to do the best you can and whatnot. But yeah, you know, over the course of time, I'll get there. But you know, we'll see. But I don't know if I want to. I don't know what else I want to say here. I'm seeing a lot of people dip out. It's like 6 of you guys left. Maybe I'll hop back on, and I don't know. Maybe I'll play some fucking Dragon Age or whatnot, and we'll talk about that and whatever else. Because I'm just sitting here in the kitchen on this hard ass chair. Even though I got my pillows under me, but you know, I'd rather just get back into my room. I do wish I could bring my microphone here into the room, but you can see this. It doesn't have. I don't have a stand to put it on, and so yeah. So I'll probably end up doing that. But yeah, I do have Ninja Gaiden. I do have Dragon Age. I have all sorts of games. So, but you know, the thing is, hey Alvin, you know, yo Alvin, I wanted to say this. I saw your message, and for whatever reason, and I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you, but so the strange thing is when I see these viewer posts, I don't like, for some reason it's like tricky for me to comment on these things. Like I can like them, but it's hard for me to comment on. So like when I click on the option to leave a comment, it takes me nowhere. So I'm like, I have a few that I did comment on, but I don't know, man. It's fucking weird. So I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I did see your message. So I just wanted to just put that out there. Yeah, because I even went through my YouTube studio. In fact, fuck it. We got full disclosure. Let me show you my YouTube studio real quick. Hold on. Okay, it's still on. Okay, good. So it's on OBS still. So, all right. Now, how can I get out of here? Okay, all right. Oh, okay. So this is not the right location. So I think I have to X. I think I X out of this. And let me go. Okay, this is regular YouTube. Okay, let's go over to YouTube Studio. Okay. Let's go to YouTube Studio. So when I go to community, hold on. So when I go to community, all right, viewer posts. Let me see something here. So I see this, right? So I come here, and then it's like, all right, I select it, right? Let's say, let me not click on. Let me click on this one, right? So I click on this one, and then this is how it looks to me. So I'm like, what do I do here? So it's like, it's kind of wild. So I'm just kind of just showing this real quick. So I'm like, all right. So I try to click here. Uh, then I'm like, all right, let me go to comments. And then it says no comments found. So then I'm like, so now I did leave a comment here, but I don't know. I don't recall how I left the comment because I don't know. It's just kind of fucking weird. So yeah, your last thing, I just wanted to let you know that, I didn't ignore you on purpose. I just didn't know how to fucking get to it. I'm still figuring this whole thing out. So it's kind of strange. But yeah, I'm happy to see that you're back. I'm hoping everything is well on your end, and all that cool stuff. But yeah, I was thinking about just kind of just playing something, probably Dragon Age. It's just but you know what? Let me ask something. I want to ask you guys this. Now, I don't mind playing a role-playing game, right? Like, especially one like a Souls game or Dragon Age or something like that. But what do you guys do if you're watching other streamers? When you got those points where let me click off of this. Hold on. Yeah. So you get to those points where the game where how can I put it? The those moments where you have to grind for levels, when you're beating the enemies over and over again just to get from like level 10 to level 11, like those farming areas. Like, do streamers show that, or are they just skipping past all that shit? Because some of these games you kind of have to grind a little bit, like like in Elden Ring, and you do have to do a little bit of grinding at certain points. So is that happening on stream? So that's the reason why I'm a little bit like, I don't know if that's something that people do when they're streaming these type of games, because I always think like first person shooters and fighting games to me are like probably the easiest games to stream because it's constant action. So I don't know. Wait. I think they show it while catering to the chat. Really? Oh wow. Okay. Holy shit. Because that is something I always wondered, because I'm like, is the chat watching this guy beat up on the same enemy over and over, beating the same fucking enemy until they get to like 5 levels and then they move on? Like, is the chat still watching? That's wild. That's actually, that was my only concern of playing those games, because I know there's going to be a part where you just can't just go through those games. Like I think you can do it with a Zelda game, but like games that have like grindy levels, it's kind of hard to do it. Maybe if you're in a new game plus, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that. I did not know that. So they actually fucking watch. Holy shit. Wow. That is something. You didn't have to show me that. I had to rewind. So yo, Alvin, like I said, man, I try to be as transparent as I can. I try to be. I do feel that's important. But and that's just I just feel like that's very important, in my opinion. But actually, I kind of forget that in Zelda, yeah, you do have to kind of grind for a few things. I kind of forget that. But definitely like something like for instance, like if I'm playing Sekiro, I remember the first time I played Sekiro. Oh, thanks, Alvin. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty cool, and I appreciate that, man. It's just that with the viewer posts, like those are for those that don't know, like anybody that's in the chat, or if you're just part of somebody's channel, I think the creator has to, I think they have to activate them. So I activated mine. So any of you guys can actually create an actual post on my channel that I guess I can respond to. But sometimes, I don't know, it's like when I try to leave a comment to respond, it's like it doesn't really, maybe I'm not selecting the right option. So that, I don't fucking know. So I'm still figuring that out. But yeah. So I mean, I think it's pretty cool that a viewer can leave like a particular post on the creator's channel. I think that's pretty cool. As opposed to the creator, like for instance, let's say if I made a community post saying, yeah, guys, I'm going live today, blah, 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 blah. But let's just say if you as the subscriber, you're like, you know what? I want Red to know, oh, this is coming out. Maybe you should do a video on this. Because if you leave it as a comment on a particular video, I may or may not see it depending on how many comments that video has. And I have to kind of sift through it. But if it's a community post that you created, it's a little easier for me to see it. But it's the issue for me is that I'm trying to figure out how to effectively comment and respond. So it's kind of like, it's kind of a, but let's see. Hello, Ensar. Man, when I look at a name like that, Ensar, cock, I guess. That sounds like some fucking barbarian ass name. Don't that sound like some shit that like you ever watch the series Highlander? It's like way old. That sounds like some warrior type name from like medieval times and shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I appreciate you chiming in, man. I hope I'll grow too, man, because believe me, I would say that YouTube content creation is not hard, but it is very time consuming and it does play tricks. Well, I want to say tricks on your mind, but it can be mentally draining at times. So I appreciate that, man. You know what the funny thing is? I played I played Elder Scrolls. Well, I did play Elder Scrolls. I played all those Bethesda games. I actually never played the Skyrim remake. Well, no. Wait. No, that's a lie. I did play the Skyrim remake, but it was many years ago. Now I think it's on Game Pass. So I am kind of thinking about playing it. But I did put in time for the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, and that shit is chef's kiss. They did a phenomenal job on that game. I have heard a few creators that they didn't like some of the changes they made for that game. But from what I see so far, from a graphic standpoint, the quality of life changes, the third person view is absolutely amazing. Because I can tell you way back in the day when I first played Oblivion on my like way back, going into third person, man, it was completely horrible. But they did a great job with this game. But yeah, man. Let me see. But yeah, I definitely play art. I just to say it again, my favorite genre is basically I love stealth-based games. Like for instance, I know we talk about these type of games, but I love Far Cry. Far Cry 5, I played the hell out of that game. I didn't get a chance to beat Far Cry 6. I own it. And I was thinking about playing through those. I mean, believe me, there's so many games I would love to play on stream and just kind of have you guys watch and just, we'll chime in and talk and whatever. I would love that. Because I really enjoy I just enjoy that. But yeah, games like, that are kind of grindy. It is good to know that you guys told me that the chat actually does sit through and watch a player grind for levels. I truly was wondering that. I was like, wow, are they, because like in a game like Ninja Gaiden, it's just all action. You know what I'm saying? But if you're playing a game like, I would say even Sea of Stars, Sekiro to a degree, because sometimes you'll have to grind for, I forgot what they call it in Sekiro. You're collecting these things to spend to get new weapon arts and shit like that. Yeah, that does take a little bit of time. You have to go through the area, kill all the enemies, and then go through it again and again and again. So yeah. But yeah, Far Cry, definitely love those types of games. Those are all my favorite style of games. I'm actually thinking about revisiting what's it called? A Ghost Recon, not Wildlands. I mean, not that there's I like Wildlands, but Breakpoint. I'm seeing more and more videos on that game, and it's looking like the stealth experience that I've wanted, that unfortunately I'm not getting from a military type shooter, third person, like I used to get from Splinter Cell. And even though I'm well aware, yes, I'm aware that Splinter Cell does have an anime coming up, and I've seen a few channels literally roast the fuck out of it. You know, I'm just like, I don't really know. I was gonna make a video about it specifically. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, believe me, I love these type of games. And the cool thing with Xbox, not that, you know, I know you can do it with PC or whatever. Well, actually, I don't know. But I know with Xbox, I can literally have like more than one game going at the same time. And I can swap from one game to the next pretty easily. It's a cool feature Xbox has, as opposed to exiting out the game completely. So for instance, let's say if I'm playing Sekiro for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, I want to show you guys, oh, let's play some Far Cry. And then bam, it can switch pretty quickly. Like if you have if you have an Xbox, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's called Quick Resume. It's really good. It's good. Yeah, Quick Resume. It's a really good feature. But yeah, in fact, I don't know. Wait, depending on the quality, that could be, yeah. So in fact, let's watch it, because I think they do have a trailer or some shit, and I actually haven't watched it, but there is a guy I usually follow. I don't know if you guys follow this particular guy. His name is Dr. Disaster 1. I think this guy is hilarious. Let me see. Let me switch it to show my screen real quick. All right, so you guys are seeing the screen. You know what I need? I would love to get one of those stream decks that I see some of these larger streamers have, where it looks like they're pushing buttons off screen, and it's switching camera angles and all. Like, I would love to get that, but you know, maybe one day. You know, that's why I'm trying to see if I can grow my channel members, because you know, I feel like, you know, a little bit over time, you know, currently I have 6 members, and I feel like month over month, as I'm getting the little bit of ad revenue I do get, and the money from those that join the channel, I can put a lot of that money to the side and try to pick up a few things that I know would really enhance the channel, because I always had my eye on one of those stream decks, and just to kind of, because I always wonder, how are these guys changing camera angles? Like, you'll see it's like zoomed in and it's zoomed out like real quick. I'm like, how the fuck are they doing that? And but I don't know, but I guess we'll see. So anyway, let me get back to what I was doing here. So let's see, we got here. So yeah, so this guy, Dr. Disaster 1. Yeah, so this guy right here. So when I see this particular guy, he is a big channel, and you know, I do follow a lot of his takes, and I don't agree with everything, but it's pretty interesting. His thumbnail design, I see a lot of creators use this thumbnail design. Some of my earlier videos used something like this, where I would do one half like the text, and the other half I'll put like a picture. I've done that. Yeah, so he is talking about, you know, the ghosts of Yote and stuff like that. You know, so I'm looking to kind of maybe go not necessarily completely in that direction, but you know, definitely speaking on different types of games, and you know, doing things like that. And then you see here, you got Dr. Disrespect. Everybody knows him. This guy is a fucking monster in the streaming realm. and actually pretty good too at these games, I have to admit. He's kind of interesting guy. I don't know much about him, but he is pretty entertaining. But yeah, let me see. We said another one I really like is Metal Gear Solid 3 was the. Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid 3, I just love those type of stealth-based games. Because I think ultimately the reason why I enjoy those types of games is I feel it's kind of easy to go in a game guns blazing and just wipe out everybody. I think there's a certain level of skill to kind of sneak around and kind of complete a mission only killing the characters you have to kill. And I always like, that's why when I play Far Cry, I like going into those camps and I like accomplishing what I need to, and you get the ghost reward or something like that, and like where nobody's seen you. And then a lot of times if somebody did see me, I end up resetting the fucking thing and just to start over. So I get a little bit anal with that. But yeah, I love stealth games. I like if there's an option to accomplish the game in a stealth way, I'm gonna usually take that path. What was I gonna show here? So yeah, there's Dr. Disaster. Oh, the Splinter Cell thing, right? Yeah. So I actually haven't seen the trailer or whatever, but let's see. Splinter Cell, I think it's Netflix, right? It should be here. Okay, so I think this is it. So let me turn on my headset because otherwise I won't be able to hear it because I actually haven't even watched this shit yet. Let me turn my headset on. Well, at least I'm trying to turn it on. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. I won't be able to hear it because I actually haven't even watched this shit yet.
Been too long, Sam Fisher. We don't have much time. McKenna has intel we can't afford to lose.
Why don't you tell me why the entire Eastern Bloc wants a piece of you?
It's not me they want. They said watch. Blueprints of some sort.
A time for change is upon us.
Diana Shetland, this mission is personal.
It doesn't have to end like this, Sam.
You ready, Cinderella? Sounds like we're going to the ball.
Get up close, gather intel, avoid blowback.
Those who want the world to change know that they must break it.
We need you to move fast.
This job makes you question everything, but we have to keep trying.
You will die screaming.
So done with you.
Nice of you to finally pay me a visit.
Well, yeah, that is definitely different. That is definitely different. I think that I guess I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I know when I look at Dr. Disaster 1's video on it, he has quite the take on it. But I guess I'll see. I don't know. I would much rather them put out a game, but I guess we'll see. But it does look kind of average. But, I think that if this is like sometimes what I see is sometimes if they want to bring something back, because Splinter Cell has been gone for a while. If they want to bring something back, they will probably use like something else, like an anime like this, right? To kind of gauge people's reaction and their interest level. But I don't know. I can't imagine this being or costing any less than if they were to make an actual new video game. But maybe this is just, I don't know. I'm not really too sure. But that's just me spitballing and just kind of like, maybe that could be the reason. I don't really know. I would love to see a new game, much like the Gears of War fans are clamoring for a Gears of War collection, like a Marcus Phoenix collection. Yeah, I would love to see a Sam Fisher collection. From Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory. I did enjoy Double Agent to a degree, but I didn't like how they did Michael Ironside dirty. As far as I'm concerned, they didn't include him for the latest game, Blacklist. Even though I never played it, I think Blacklist looked okay. But I think the excuse I heard them give is that they wanted Sam Fisher, the game character. They wanted the actor that was going to voice Sam Fisher. They wanted him to do choreography and a lot of the physical stuff. And of course, Michael Ironside, he's kind of old, so he couldn't do a lot of that physical stuff. But my thought was, okay, fine. If you want somebody to do the physical stuff, then why don't you just get an actor to do that shit and just keep Michael Ironside as the voice of fucking Sam Fisher? So I'm not just, I don't know, man. But I didn't get a chance to play that particular title. I'm not really too sure how well it did. I think it was well received, but I think the main controversy was the fact that they replaced the actual voice actor. At least that's what I know. I can't speak on the game itself because I never played it. I think the last Splinter Cell game I played was Double Agent. I think that was the last Splinter Cell game. Yeah, like a stunt double. They could have just did that, But unfortunately, they went and did what they wanted to do, and it is what it is. So I wanted to ask this, right? Just from a content creator standpoint. I don't use a lot of community posts often because in my mind, I don't know really if I make a community post, if it's going to go to all of my subscribers. I really don't. I feel like sometimes it's like a hit or miss. I don't know if I should put like a hashtag or something. Because sometimes I do think, because I know when you make a community post, you can create a poll, you can create like an image or something. So I can have like a poll, and I've seen other creators do it before they're going to do a stream. They'll say, okay, guys, I'm going to do a stream. What games would you like? Whatever, right? And the community will vote on what game or something like that. It's like voting on a map for a Call of Duty game, before you play it. So I kind of wonder, maybe I'll do it more often, but I'm still kind of figuring out little things about this whole content creation thing. So let me see. Everything is well. Just had a Shout outs to your brother, man. Alvin. Shout outs to your brother on that one. It's always good to have somebody that can help you, whether it's a friend or family, because not all of us are, not all of us have it, all set up financially. You know what I'm saying? So if you have some people that's able to help you out, that's good, man. So I'm happy that you have that. I have very few people, and the people that I do have, they're kind of struggling themselves. So I'm kind of like, I'm just glad right now I have some food in the fridge. I have some chicken I made earlier. I have like I got like this jug of water here, thankfully. And yeah, I got like about $9 in my checking at the moment. Because I did have to buy a couple of things for the house, the apartment, and I had to give Con Edison my electric bill. I had to give them some hush money so they wouldn't turn my fucking lights out. But I am thankfully, you know, thanks to a lot of you guys' efforts and the ad revenue, which isn't that much, but it does help. I do have about $202 coming, but it's October 21st. So that's not going to help me no time soon, but at least I know that's on the way. So I can probably take care of a bill. I'll be able to pick up Battlefield 6 and, you know, so, or maybe I might, yeah, that's the thing. I might hold off on Battlefield 6 and just see how things are on the financial end first, because I know I'll be also playing Black Ops 7. So that's free for me on free air quotes on Game Pass. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's just kind of, making those real life moves, you know. So that's basically what that is. But yeah, $30 for your dad. Okay, that's what's up, man. Happy birthday to your father, man. Yeah, it's just the way that you know, especially here in New York, it's like you will walk into a grocery store and you'll walk out wondering, where the fuck did your money go? Like, what did I buy? You know what I'm saying? Like you'll pick up a few items and not even junk, like just like, you know, like maybe, okay, you buy like 2 packs of chicken. You know, I usually get like chicken strips, right? Because I marinate them, and then I'll like, you know, put them in the refrigerator for a bit, and then I'll just, you know, put them on the George Foreman grill, and there you go, 1, 2, 3. You know, so that's usually what I do. It's very easy, you know, pretty easy. But then I walk out the supermarket and I'm like, how the fuck how is that $30 to $40? Like, what do I have here? You know, so it's annoying. You buy the bare minimum. It really is. Yeah, currently I do have food stamps, and so I gotta wait. What is it? The 1st of October. So we're September 18th right now. You know, sometimes, you know, I go to the deli, you know, I can get a couple of people to, like, you know, hook me up with a sandwich or whatever. But, you know, it's like my parents used to say, you know, as long as your bills are paid, as long as you got your lights, as long as you got a roof over your head, that's really what matters. Money comes and goes, you know, but it's just, when you do get money, try to make the best decisions you can. And that's what I try to do. That's why I'm like, yeah, when I get this YouTube payment, yeah, I don't know if I think I might set aside. That's why I told a friend of mine, like, I may not get Battlefield 6 at launch. I may put aside half, and then the other half I'll take, like, maybe in the next 2 weeks after that. I might just end up doing that. That's why I say Game Pass is so perfect for me, because it's literally $20, you know, to play hundreds of games, you know. And then I had this initial vision. I originally, like, one of my original visions for the channel from a gaming standpoint was I was just going to be an Xbox gaming channel, right? Where I would be one of those guys where I would just pick a game off of my Game Pass and play through that shit and then just talk about it. I mean, I guess I could still do that, and also at the same time speak about other matters. But that was my original thought of, like, you know what? Since you can DVR straight from the Xbox, and I can send, like for instance, I can record up to 4 minutes DVR on the Xbox. I can send it to my OneDrive, download it to my laptop, and then when I, like, say if I'm doing this, right, I can then go into CapCut and then put it as like B-roll footage and just, you know, and kind of do it that way. So yeah, that's that was my, you know, I guess that's like the plan. But at the same time, you know, when I see other news, like how Nintendo is doing their thing, Sony is doing their thing, I felt like, you know what, I can cover this too. I may not play the games because I don't have the system, but I can speak on the news of the industry as well because I am well versed in that field. And then the odd one out is like my fitness stuff. I know that most, if not all, of my subscribers are gamers. You know, so I'm like, well, how would me fitting in my fitness stuff work? And that's where I was like, you know what? Originally, I was going to put it as part of my paid channel memberships, you know, because I have the $10 tier. And I felt like, well, if people are really interested in fitness and getting in shape and dialing in their nutrition, if I was training somebody like in real life, I would be charging them way more than $10 a month. I can tell you that much. So I felt like, well, if I was putting in a lot of my fitness content, like really in depth, like this is what works, this is what the muscles, this, all that fancy stuff, I would put that as part of the $10 membership. And then I feel like, you know, if people are interested, they would join that particular tier to hear that. So I kind of went away from that a little bit, and I started kind of posting a few of my workouts as part of YouTube Shorts, because I felt like, well, if it's a YouTube short, I don't think it's really disturbing my main gamer subscriber base, because it's like what, like a minute to 3 minutes, you know, it's a short, you can just swipe up or swipe left or whatever at your leisure. So, and then I know if I really wanted to dial into it, I would eventually have to make a brand new channel, and I already have the name for it, I already have the plan, but it's like starting that channel from scratch, you know, it's a drag, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, while I have this channel monetized, I feel like I can sprinkle in a little fitness stuff, because I do feel like fitness is very important for everybody. You know, it's one thing to live long, it's another to live a healthy, long life. So that's just my thought process on there. The whole channel membership thing, you know, at the end of the day, I felt like if most of my subscribers chose the $2 option, because I feel like our $2 a month, I feel like that's not going to break anybody. But like the $10, $5, I get it, you know, that would require a little bit more of a commitment. So in my mind, I felt like over the course of time, if I can build out some content that my subscribers would find worthwhile, then, you know, that can give an additional revenue for myself to do some of the things I need to do. And then I can start going after a few sponsors and then say, hey, you know, this is like what I have. This is what's going on my channel. I have this amount of subscribers. They're pretty, you know, much, you know, engaging with the content. And then I can bring items that I feel you guys would be interested in, whether that's games or maybe even some workout material. So I have like a lot of ideas, but it's just a matter of getting from point A to point B. So that's just kind of, I don't know, I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying. But yeah, you know, I do the best I can. But I have so many plans, like, man, if I were to really just reveal it all, I think I've spoken about this in other videos, but, like, this is why, like, I don't like it when I see other content creators, larger channels. I feel like they forget where they fucking come from. I think they forget that they got to the position that they're at is because of the subscribers. I feel like they forget that. And I've seen something else. I remember I went to a large creator's channel one time, and I seen a comment, and I can't tell you guys who it was because it was several months ago. But one subscriber to this guy's channel said something like, I'm paraphrasing it. He said something to the effect of, I don't like how we are channel members and it feels like we're being forgotten about, where you should like at least make at least a video every month or so, you know, something like that, because we're paying, you know, we're directly paying for the content, you know what I'm saying? We're supporting your channel. And I can't, like I said, it was several months ago, but when I saw that, and now mind you, this is like when I can tell you this much, when I saw it, I remember I had less than 40 subscribers. So that's how long ago it was. It was last year. And when I read that comment, I said to myself, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that creator. I don't want to be a creator where my subscriber base are saying, look, if we're giving you money and we're a member, right? Like, what about us? And then on the flip side of that, I don't want to ever be in those positions where it's like, oh, you're now a fucking shill. You're just like, you know, I don't want to be that. That might slow my growth. That might, you know, because I know some of those channels, they do take the quick route. But I don't want to do that because I intend to stick with this for a while. And it's very easy, especially in business, to lose your integrity as a business owner. Because honestly, when you are a YouTube creator or just in social media, you are essentially a business owner. Like that's the facts. You are essentially a business creator, a business owner, right? I am trying to make money off of this channel. I am trying to create something that people would find some kind of value in, whether it's entertainment, whether it's learning something new, whether it's like if I am talking about tech and I'm going in depth on a character, you know, I want to create some kind of value so that over time that I can utilize this to sustain myself so that I can reinvest back into the channel. And this is how you grow things as a business owner. And so with that, you cannot forget where you come from. You cannot forget, like, look, you had these subscribers at the very beginning, and then once you get to like this extra, like you get to like 100,000 subscribers, and now it's like you act like you big time all of a sudden. I don't want to go that route. My father used to have this old saying, if you don't know, what he said, don't forget where you come from, otherwise you'll never know where you're going, or something like that. And so yeah, I guess that was my little public service announcement of me looking at the camera. But yeah, that was kind of like the thing there. Just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. Let me see. What are you guys talking about here? Digimon. Interesting. Digimon. Isn't that like the Pokemon offshoot? I always thought that was like the same damn thing. Yeah, so like pretty much, yeah, like large creators legit. Yeah, you know, I have seen Yoreen. I have seen that. And the thing is, I don't know, like for instance, let's say if I had a whole bunch of you guys in the chat, right? I'm a huge channel or whatever. I'll see like the chat line will go so fast that I don't think the creator can really focus and read a lot of those comments. But I do feel that there are other things that a creator can do to at least have some engagement. And some do, and I think some don't. I think at some point they just get on autopilot. So I don't know, man. I guess time will tell. Maybe I'll look back on this particular video maybe a year or two from now and see like, oh, you know what? Now I'm at this level, and let me see if I'm still that same guy I aim to be, you know, maker willing. But yeah, you know, I am glad that October 21st, currently right now, I am going to get at least like $203 or $204. I am fucking over the moon for that. You believe me, I wish I can fast forward the time to get it now, but just knowing I have that in the future, you know, it's not, obviously it's not much, right? We know this, but it definitely came from me doing what I love to do. And so that does give me some hope that, you know what, this is working. It's slow, but I'd rather some progress than no progress. And so that's pretty much what it is for me. You know, let me see. Pokemon, man. But I will say, at least in Pokemon, I enjoy the song. I enjoy the theme song. And it's been on for a long time. I mean, shit, I remember when I was a kid and Pokemon used to be on. What was it? Power Rangers, Voltron, Sailor Moon, Thundercats. I used to watch all that stuff, man, you know. But I appreciate that, Reen, you know. Little by little, man. I think like last month, my first payment was like, I think 103 or something like that. So that was cool. Even though most of that went over to my cable bill, I gotta admit. But yeah, you know, we do what we got. We do what we can. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah, Pokemon. I don't know, man. But it's nice to know that you guys mentioned that when streamers are playing those type of long, like those large games, and they have to go in those sections where they have to grind for levels. Like I really appreciate, because you don't know how much I thought about this. Like I was like, well, you know, if I play this game, what happens if I gotta, you know? So that's the reason why I never live streamed a lot of these things. But since you know, since Jules and a few of you guys say that you wouldn't mind, you know, watching me stream some of these role-playing games, yeah, I gotta admit I'm a little bit tempted to just go in the room and and just fire one up, because, you know, I've been sitting in this hard-ass chair. Even I got the pillow on me, you know what I'm saying? But gosh. And it's still kind of early. It's like 7:30 over here. Let me see. So 7:30 p.m. and honestly, yeah, like I can go through my Game Pass and be like, yo, which games you want to see? Because there's some games. In fact, there was a game that I wanted to try, and it's a survival horror game. It's a survival horror game. I don't know if any of you guys played it, but I've heard it was good. It's called Still Wakes the Deep. I think it was if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a PlayStation exclusive at one point, and now it's on Game Pass. So, and I was telling a friend of mine who's a huge survival horror guy, like he loves Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And I was like, yo, I have not heard anything really bad about this Still Wakes the Deep game. You know, but I'm just wondering if any of you guys heard of it or played the game. Oh, okay. So Jules, you heard about that game, but did you play it though? Did you play the game? Let me see. Oh yeah, my dad. Oh, okay. So you did play it. Or you probably maybe you watch somebody stream it. Okay. Oh, okay. So basically, if I play the game, I'm just going to be a 6'5", 200-pound, 45-year-old guy that's going to be like, oh, fucking scared out my fucking ass. But anyway, if nothing else, it'll probably get you guys some of you guys to laugh. But yeah, you know, that's what I tend to do a lot of times. Like especially if it's like a PlayStation game. You know, obviously I'm on Xbox. So when I I watch somebody, I blessed this guy, whoever, I forgot what channel it was. I blessed this guy with dozens and dozens of hours watching this guy play God of War Ragnarok. so I definitely know what you mean when you're watching a game. But yeah, horror, like you know, I can deal with horror to a degree. I can tell you I have not played the Resident Evil 2 remaster. I have it on Game Pass. No, actually I own the game. I played a little bit of it, but I guess there was so many other games out, I didn't really get a chance to really dive in deep into it. I never played Callisto Protocol. I didn't play. Well, no, I did play it. It was on Game Pass for a bit. I played it for a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of games I may have played like the first 20 or 30 minutes of it, and I kind of just forgot, and I think I didn't play it, but I have to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I did play it. I just didn't play it long. But yeah, Still Wakes the Deep. I heard that game is really good. So I'm thinking about fucking with that. But yeah, you know, you can't handle jump scares. Other than that, you know, give it a try. You know, so I guess, hey, since you already know some of the jump scares, I guess if you're gonna be watching me play it, you're gonna be in your mind saying, I wonder if Red is gonna jump at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, so that's gonna be kind of funny. But yeah, JRPGs, indie games, RPGs, stealth action. Man, I think those, I always feel like you tend to get your money's worth with those games, you know. With a fighting game, you know, I feel it's possible too, but sometimes you might get pissed off and just say fuck this game and just play something else, and then you just end up wasting a whole $70 that it took to buy that fighting game. So yeah. But yeah, I have seen a few major streamers, especially on Twitch, get really popular because they played like horror games or like these strange indie games, and they built an audience off of that, and then they kind of went to like the next thing. And I guess that's a good strategy from what I heard. But yeah, the Still Wakes the Deep game, you know what, fuck it. I just have to download it because so for instance, the thing I don't like about Xbox that I will admit is something I wish Xbox had is the ability to stream directly to YouTube from the console. We only have the opportunity, the ability to stream directly to Twitch. And with Twitch, I'm not really, I don't know, man. Now that I'm monetized here, it's like I would have to become an affiliate over on Twitch. So that would be like you guys, some of you guys would have to, you know, of course, with your good graces, would have to follow me on my Twitch channel. And then I'd have to let you guys know when I'm going live, because to my knowledge, and some of you might actually be Twitch streamers for all I know, the hardest part that I hear Twitch people say when it comes to becoming an affiliate is you have to stream, I think it's like a week or so, where you have to have an average of 3 viewers per stream or something like that. And many streamers struggle with that. So that would be something I would probably ask you guys to help with. But that's if I really wanted, like there was a time I was aiming to be serious on Twitch, but so many people tell me that it's hard to grow on Twitch because the discoverability is very limited. That's what a lot of people tell me. But I have heard that Twitch has cooler options and like little trinkets and little gimmicks and shit like that. So I don't know. Let me see. Fighting games like the arcades, fun for a little while, then you want to move on. Yes, 100%. PewDiePie grew. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, exactly. PewDiePie, he grew, and several other large streamers, they did grow their channels playing like these little, you know, horror, like these obscure games that I probably never heard of before. And I guess it just grew, you know. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. You know, it's not impossible to grow on Twitch, but it is difficult because, you know, I think one of you guys, yeah, Reen, you say it's oversaturated, you know, and definitely YouTube, you know, you have a lot more options, I feel, and in my opinion, I already have a lot of you guys here, and I already have the channel monetized, so it's kind of like, why would I go over to try to do it on Twitch? Unless I'm doing the simultaneous streaming, but that's a little bit tricky because I've heard that Twitch is very much assholes when it comes to simultaneous streaming, where you can't say certain things. If like, I heard some people, like, they had their Twitch account suspended or something because, like, you have to give people the same streaming experience on different platforms. There's certain things you can't say. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. Like, it was an article I read and I was like, it just kind of turned me off from it. So I was like, whatever, man. But yeah, Path of Exile 2, but I gotta see if I actually have access to that game on Xbox. I don't know. You know, I don't know if I have access to that game. If it's I don't know, because I know the first game is free to play, you know, but I don't know. I'll check. You know, like I said, I'm probably gonna be wrapping this stream up soon, and just take a bathroom break, a food break, probably walk, stretch my legs, and then come back on. I don't know if you guys are gonna be awake or not, but I'll even if it's like one or two of you, you know, I'll fucking come on, and because I really do want to speak a little bit on Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I do want to speak on that, at least to kind of show what I see in that game, in spite of the crazy narrative direction they took the game. But yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut out here, and also I'll have to think of a thumbnail and a title for the next stream. So chances are, I would say there's a very high, it's like an 80% chance I will do a new stream later on, like, because like I said, it's 7:39 p.m. here in New York right now. So I would say maybe another hour. I'll get back on. And yeah, so I'll probably end up doing that. Jamie. Oh wow, okay. I think you're new in the chat, Jamie. Hey, welcome, man. Dragon Age Origins. Yeah, Dragon Age Origins. Love the story. Great paths. But the combat was I think we can all agree to that. And it's just funny. When Dragon Age 2 came out, a lot of people were complaining about the combat, saying it was too arcadey. You know, so, you know, it's kind of hard to win with people, but I will say, despite some of the narrative choices of the Veilguard, I absolutely love the combat. If I were to compare it to the other three games. But of course, story-wise, I believe Dragon Age Origins was like that game. It was amazing. I'm almost tempted to play through that game. You know what? Another game, I forgot to mention this to you. Have you guys, because there's only 6 of you left here, you guys must have heard of Knights of the Old Republic. Now, if you want to talk about classic RPG, it does not get much better. Well, or maybe it can, you know, because there are other godlike games out there. But I do own Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. And another game that BioWare also worked on. Sadly, I don't think we'll ever see a remake or a new game of this, and it's called Jade Empire. Jade Empire was one of my favorite fucking games. And the story and the writing of that game was very strong. Thankfully, Jade Empire is absolutely amazing. Obviously, if I were to play the game right now, just know it was an original Xbox game. Xbox being the 6th generation, so that was right up there with PS2. But you know, with Xbox enhancing certain games, it does look a lot better. And I did recently play Knights of the Old Republic, and it looks amazing for the game. And the load times are like non-existent, because I remember those games had fucking hella load times for everything. So yeah, so I'm thinking about playing those type of games. But yeah, yeah, like you know, the turn-based definitely love, and it's wild that I have still yet to play Expedition 33. That game has been all over the fucking gaming industry news as being like a potential game of the year contender, and I have yet to even play. I have yet to even see the title screen of that game, which is my own fault. But I don't know. I have to give. So I don't know. Like, I have to see like what I'm gonna title this stream, because obviously I'm not gonna be playing any one particular game. So maybe I'll just put it as, I don't know, fucking live streaming Xbox games. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of it. But yeah, I will try to get back online, and I guess some of you guys are working. It's like in the morning time for Alvin, so I guess it's probably perfect for you, Alvin, because I guess, you know, this is part of your morning. So unless you're off to go to work later, you know, I guess, you know, this time works for you, being in you know, in the part of the world that you're in. So yeah, definitely gonna get me some water. I don't even know how long I've been streaming for, and I'm gonna set everything up in my room, and probably, yeah, I'm gonna download Veilguard real quick, because I don't want to play the game off of the cloud, because I don't want any graphical issues. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So let me get up out of here. I'll set up everything, and I guess I'll see some of you guys later on. And so I will bid you guys adieu for the meantime. And yeah, so hopefully, Jules specifically, if I don't catch you in the stream later on, I guess you'll watch it later on or whatever, or I'll catch you on the next stream. And the same thing with the rest of you guys here. And Reen, I appreciate it, man. Alvin, everybody else that's here. Let me get up out of here and do what I got to do. And yeah, man. I will be back on. I will be back like Arnold. Anyway, take care, man. Let me close this out and get something to eat.